Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the lie.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
They're taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them, but when they come your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for their calling. They are giving us the CPS a warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up by their tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come, picking you off one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandly. So give us back the kids you have taken. Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows, and the only games you play are old Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher Warrior Anthem. We cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. Our children are being stolen way too often, so CPS, we plan on doing the stopping.
Yes, sirree. Well, there it is. What's up, Tiff?
Not much.
How goes the battle today?
It was pretty good. Did you get all those emails so you can send everybody?
Yes. I got a whole page of Tiff and your emails. 100 emails from Tiff today. You've been a busy bee. You know, I didn't even read.
This
I
information.
barely ever read anything until this whole CPS thing started. Now I'm I'm writing books. I'm reading novels.
Well, use the information I sent you to put in a book.
Oh, I will. I just didn't have the information that you have given me now. So that's what they have. They call a sequel. So when I write the sequel, I'll have to have special regards to Tiff for this one.
Well, I appreciate that, but you don't have to put my name in it.
Well, I'm going to. I'm going to put it in there a lot. Maybe that's how I'll start every paragraph. Tiff says.
Well, I give you permission to use my name if you want to, but you don't have to.
Every paragraph will start, says, Tiff says this. That's what everybody wants to hear anyway. Everyone's like, hey, Tiff. Hey, call Tiff.
Oh, I'm very humbled by that.
That's good. Yeah, I see you sent me this 101 things for child protection stuff. What is this? What is this email you sent me?
This actually outlines how you would do your lawsuit, how you would file your claims, how you would write up your claims, what cases you would use, what codes and statutes you would use. This is really good. Actually, after I got this, I went back to this site to see if I could get more information, and they closed it down.
Oh, no way. So they got them.
They got them. They took them off.
That must mean that this is really good shit.
It is. I mean, it talks about federal claims, constitutional violations in juvenile dependency cases, unwarranted seizures, unwarranted medical exams, unwarranted school interrogations of the children, deception of obtaining a warrant, deception in the presentation of evidence in the juvenile proceedings, injuries in foster care, custom policy practice and training. Montel, that's a Montel liability.
Montel.
And I even went to where they got the information from, and you can't even get on these websites. It says they are not available.
Really?
Yeah.
What, these ones here at the beginning, the lookaside.fdfx and all that, these are all not available now?
I can't get on them. Maybe you'll have a better luck, but I'm telling you that you can't get on them.
Wow.
It's got everything, even how conspiracy to deny access to the court. It's got everything. It's got everything. The violations, the First Amendment, the 14th Amendment, due process clause under the Equal Protection. A violation of your 4th, 5th, 9th Amendment right. The 6th Amendment right. It even says in here the trials, everything. I actually just found this
demand
in
for
one
the
of my
jury.
phones.
Oh, I never heard of this one either. Emphasis on Hardwick and Vreekeen, huh? I've never heard of that one. I've never seen that one come across. I don't know what that one's about.
Tons of information.
10th Amendment. Oh, gosh. There we go. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the people. That's
I mean,
interesting.
it's a wealth of information.
Yeah, if you guys want this, send it to CPSV Hunting Justice at Gmail, and I'll make sure I forward this to you. This is some good stuff. Hey, do you know about the prayer for relief?
I don't know much about it, but
I
I
don't know
do
either. I was
know
hoping you did.
that lawyers put it in there all the time.
Right?
So let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I'd like some information on that. To see what the prayer for relief actually means, or how it came about, or is it necessary? Is it not? I mean, I think it should be necessary, obviously. What U.S. Constitution rights do all parents and children have? Fourth Amendment, 14th. Yeah, as Tiff told us the other day. The Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 3. Wow. Under the oath before the magistrate or judge. Complaint is a written statement of the essential facts constituting the offense charged, except as provided in Rule 4.1. It must be made under oath before a magistrate judge, or, if none is reasonably available, before a state or local judicial officer. Oh. The defendant must be committed. The judge must issue an arrest warrant to an officer. See, I thought that I heard something like this, that if you're going to get TPR'd, that they need to have, you should be arrested criminally for that crime to be TPR'd. I really do believe that I read that somewhere at one point in time, and I think that that's just kind of, skipped its timeline and went on that anymore. Person authorized to serve it. A judge may issue more than one warrant or summons on the same complaint. Criminality under the color of law. Wow. A person of a right protected by the Constitution of the U.S. By a local, state, or federal government agency.
It says a prayer for relief refers to a section of a complaint where a plaintiff outlines the specific remedies or damages they are seeking from the court. This is even in criminal and civil cases.
Okay.
And it's asking the court to resolve the case, like awarding monetary compensation, ensuing an injunction, or recovering legal fees. So that's what it means.
Okay. American law is a concept distinct to church, which mixes. Lawsuit is commenced. However, unlike personal jurisdiction, there is no constitutional requirement for proper venue in order to have a valid judgment. Okay. So venue is concerned with the geographical location of the court, where a lawsuit is commenced. However, unlike a personal jurisdiction, there is no constitutional requirement for proper venue in order to have a valid judgment. Statute for the United States Federal Courts, special rules listed. Another case can also be removed from a state court to a federal court. Here we go. There it is right there, right? 28 U.S.C. 1404. A case can also be removed from a state court to a federal court. The case may be dismissed because its venue is harshly unfair to one or more parties under a doctrine called forum non-conveniens, often used in cases where the events took place in a foreign country. They have the right to sue in a certain venue through offenses. It must be made initial responses to the complaint or it will be waived. Wow, okay. That's cool. Wow, this has all kinds of stuff in it. It's 30 pages. The Constitution protects the fundamental rights of parents to make decisions concerning the care, custody, upbringing, management, and control of their children. Okay, now this. Okay, so here's my thing. They say all this stuff about the Constitution protects us as a family and all this, but how do you go around them saying that you were founded by the state to be an abuser, or you were substantiated, or whatever? So they're saying that they upheld the due process by finding you guilty of abuse and neglect and so on. So how do you get around that to use these in your favor?
Well, like Gunnar said, from the beginning of your case, you should automatically go to federal court because, in case you didn't see, there is a caseworker who is now being charged with falsifying information. I put it on my Facebook page today. But it's not hard to disprove because people who are telling the truth don't mind being questioned. It's the people who are lying. If you put them on the stand and you ask them the same question 5 different ways, like an attorney would, they get
Right.
flustered. You know what I'm saying? So truth doesn't mind being questioned. A liar does.
Right.
So when you start talking about these cases, I read the judges have to uphold the state and the federal laws on top of the state and federal constitution. So and this is another thing, I don't know who gave anybody the right, and this is a problem that I have, to say who is a fit parent and who is not a fit parent. Now, we're not talking about drug addicts with needles hanging out of their arm, passed out with the kids in the car. We're not talking about those parents.
Of course.
Right? We're talking about parents who really, really, truly love their kids, and they may have a drug problem, or they may have spanked their kid and left a bruise on them. Okay. 27 states have corporal punishment in their laws, and Virginia is one of them. So I don't believe, look, I'm going to explain it like this. On paper, I look like I'm slinging dope out my front door as many times as my neighbors call the police on me. Right?
Facts.
But I'm not that person. I'm not slinging dope out the front door. He just doesn't like me.
Right. Yep.
So I believe that once you win a constitutional lawsuit, it goes on the books, it can be used. Then, like Gunnar said, you go back and then you sue them in their personal and professional capacity.
Well, I never heard this one before.
What?
In state court, defendants bear the burden of proving that seizing child was in imminent danger of suffering serious physical bodily injury in the 2-hour window necessary to obtain a warrant. The burden is not satisfied by mere speculation. Rather, defendant must present specific and particularized evidence. So, if that's the case, why are they so easily getting these? And then why are they getting these preliminary protection orders, and then they're coming 6 and 7 days later and picking up the kids?
Because they don't follow the law. They break the law.
Right. So if they're doing that, then that should be some. That's game over, right? Like, wouldn't you think? If they came and got your kid any more than 2 hours after, according to this, what it took for that to get that imminent danger order, why isn't it that your case is just giving my freaking kid back? Because you lied.
I don't know what page criminality is on, but look, it says under color of law. Read what it says.
Which part?
Because you know I can't read that little stuff.
Is it on the page I'm on? Is what you're talking about, or somewhere else?
I don't know what page is on because mine didn't print out.
Right here it says a social worker acts under color of state law while acting on purporting to act in his or her official capacity, or while exercising his or her responsibilities pursuant to state law.
I don't even know what page
acts
you're on.
Under color of state law while acting or purporting to act in his or her official capacity, or while exercising his or her responsibilities pursuant to state law. Wow. So they're saying that they're working under the color of law no matter what.
They're state actors.
Right. Responsibilities pursuant to state law. Wow. Maybe sees without warrant are the same. The Constitution requires an official. While the constitutional source of the parents' and the child's rights differ, the tests under the 14th and the 4th Amendment for when a child may be seized without a warrant are the same. The Constitution requires an official separating a child from the parents to obtain a court order unless the official has reasonable cause to believe the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury. Here we go. Here's another good one. A person acting under color of law who commits a constitutional violation cannot be immunized by state law. Oh, a social worker cannot seize a child without prior judicial authorization, merely in the hope that further investigations will turn up facts suggesting that a child was in immediate danger or serious physical injury.
I've been saying it and I've been saying it. That's why I told that chick that night, you cannot take him without a court order.
Wow. Yeah, so send me an email, guys. CPSV Hunting Justice. If you guys want a copy of this, that's pretty amazing. I mean, what do you do if you're in court and your caseworker's sitting there lying on the stand, Tiff? Is there anything that you can do for that?
Well, the first thing you have to do is object to it, because if you don't object to it, it goes on as truth, right? So you have to. I tell people, object to everything, even if they say what their name is. Object to it.
Right. Put them all in check. Put them all in check. Right. Put everybody in check.
Right. And then I sit down and I help these parents. Like, I look at their cases and I say, okay, so when it's your turn, I'll say, this is the question you need to ask. And then this is the reply, because this is the truth. And if she doesn't say that, I had one of my attorneys, no lie, the CPS worker in my case falsified all the information, got caught lying on the stand. My attorney had her whole testimony impeached, and they fired her.
They fire her, or they move her to another position?
No, they fired her.
Wow. That's crazy that they actually did that.
Yeah, they fired her.
Wow. You don't hear that very often.
Yeah, that was in Loudoun County, Virginia.
Rocket docket.
The rocket docket, that's what we're called here. But you have to go, you have to be writing. Like, if their attorney says, well, what led you to their house, right? And they say, well, we got a call on the hotline. So you should be writing, was it a mandated reporter, or was it Joe Blow? Of course, they're not going to give you the name, but that's fine, because you can go, in Virginia, you can go to circuit court and have it unsealed.
Oh, wow. You can face your accuser.
Let me tell you what happened. I called, right? I said, I need to come down and file a petition to have a case unsealed. And she's like, well, is your name on it? And I said, well, yeah, it is. So she goes, well, you can't do it here. You got to go back to juvenile and domestic court. So I called juvenile and domestic court, and they said, well, we don't know what you're talking about. You got to go to circuit court. So finally, I just took their pamphlet down there and said, it's at circuit court. Where is the petition?
And then what happened?
My daughter said, Mom, just leave it alone. I don't want them coming after me anymore. So I just left it alone. But I did it just to prove a point.
Right. They send you in whip these, like they send you in backwards, forwards, left and right, not anywhere near where you're supposed to be.
Right. Don't play games with me, because I know what the damn pamphlet says. It's right here in black and white.
And that's my favorite thing. I think you're misinterpreting what this says. No, it's
right.
In plain English. This says very clearly that it's A, B, and C. I know how to read, and I know what words are, and I know how to put together things called sentences. And anything in this sentence does not say what you guys are implying that it means. You're going to tell me that I'm misinterpreting things? Get the hell out of here. I mean,
But the little girls, I will say this, the little girls at juvenile domestic court, I joke around with them because I'm like, hey, it's the crazy lady. I got more paperwork to file.
That's cool. I mean, you should have good rapport with the clerks, especially if you're going to hammer on this stuff. But you got to see them every day. Don't go in there with an attitude towards them because they can make your life miserable. Or they can really, really help you out with what you're looking for. I mean, for real, they can escalate things. Like I have a good relationship with our guy up here. His name's Matt. And I don't even send it to the proper courts. I just send my stuff to him, and then he makes sure he sends it to the courts for me. I mean, he's really cool. I've been with him since the beginning of time, since I started this stuff. And I started with that attitude like, hey, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Look, that dude's just there trying to do his job, man. Like, he just want to come in and help not have attitude from people and just get stuff done and get it done right in the right way. Like, that's all this dude cares about. So, be cool to your clerks. Oh, shoot. We got a bunch of text going on over here. I didn't even pay attention. I'll put this up for a second, so chop my head off. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. Yeah. That's why they sent, Danielle says, that's why my son was sent 4 states away to keep my mind on him being away and harder for me to get to him. Yeah. Ashley says, mine was the same. The social worker was caught in a pickle and had to say he never observed me and my child ever together. When my lawyer caught it, she asked, oh, shoot, I just lost it. Oops, hold on a minute. Wow, they're all chiming in. Ooh, sorry, ladies. I didn't mean to cut you guys off here. I just didn't realize we didn't put up there. Carrie says, it's awesome when they say you're emotional when your kids are removed or even just discussing being removed. Like you should be thanking them and smiling about it. That's the truth too, right? Oh, look at them. They're out of control here. Look at how upset they are. We're stealing their kid. What the frick is this shit? like it's supposed to be like, let's go. You guys want a coffee or something?
And that's when you pull out your human rights little book, because I have that too. And I said, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it says right here, human rights. I have the right to be emotional.
Yep. Does it say that in this?
No, but it says it in the Declaration of Human Rights.
Oh, okay, good. That's funny. Oh man. All right. So that's good. Debbie's got some stuff going on with her case. Debbie, what's going on with your case? The therapist is going to get all the documentation when he went to play therapy every 2 weeks. Foster mother said on the Zoom, he only goes once a month when I know he goes twice a month. There they go. Lying. Oh, I should play that video of that thing I found the other day, huh? At the court case where the lady's lying. Let me find that. Play this thing here. This is pretty funny stuff. I think one of you ladies sent me it. This person. She used to be the opioid hunter or something. Opioid. She changes her name often so that people don't find her, is what I'm assuming. Or those people don't find her. You know what I mean? If you get what I'm putting down. Let me see here. History. Yes, here she is. She's now my right not to speak. I want to get her on the show. Let's see here. Play this little extra of this for about 2 minutes. This is good stuff. Let me start this
She
over.
said that she was going to go to...
Okay, here we go. Everybody listen good.
Ms. DeCamp, did Ms. Zayas inform you, either verbally or by email or some other means, that she had discovered the identity of the foster parents and their location?
Yes.
Did she then say that she was going to do something with that information?
Yes.
What did she say that she was going to do?
She said that she was going to go to their home, sit outside with a sign, say that they something along the lines
to her. She's lying through her teeth. I emailed this to somebody else, so she's lying.
Ms. Zayas, hang on one second. If this isn't an email from Ms. Zayas, Mr. LaRosse, then that's going to satisfy the hearsay exception, but I need to know that. Did the email go to Ms. DeCamp or did the email go to somebody else? We just need to be precise.
Okay. Ms. DeCamp, were you a recipient of that email?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. She was going to sit outside.
Sit outside and say that they were stealing children, something along the lines of that. I would have to look at the email to be sure exactly her words. And that she would sue them. And yeah, she was going to sit outside their house. And she talked about doing so. The foster parents felt unsafe.
Peacefully.
Hang on. Ms. Zayas, if you want to cross-examine Ms. DeCamp on the email when you have cross-examination, you're welcome to. But
by the time I do, we'll have 5 minutes left, so what's the point?
I'll give you as much time as you need to cross-examine. So hang on.
I won't have that much time. He's going to talk all day.
Go ahead, Mr. LaRosse. Next question.
Was it after the foster parents were informed? Well, I'm sorry. Were the foster parents informed that Ms. Zayas had these intentions?
Yes.
Was it after that that they asked to be moved?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a lie. That's perjury. It wasn't after that. It was after Jamal went and told them to get a restraining order is when they asked her to be moved.
Ms. Zayas, you can cross-examine in a moment.
Did the foster parents get a restraining order against Ms. Zayas?
I believe they did, yes.
Do you know if there was any additional basis for their request?
Honestly, I would need to go back and review it since it was a while ago. I recall they had a lot of concerns about their safety, which is why they stated they wanted it.
I can't say she's lying right now, please. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, so what you're allowed to do is cross-examine her on the source.
But when I cross-examine,
hold on. You're allowed, Ms. Zayas, you're allowed to object to relevance, hearsay, or something else, but later no, you can't object to that. That's up to me to decide. But you can cross-examine her on the document later if you'd like to. If you think she's being inaccurate, you can cross-examine her later. So
she knows everything.
Okay.
It's her fault. She got the restraining order. She's the one who testified.
Go ahead, Mr. LaRosse.
Thank you. So while you were assigned to the case, was ever placed with Ms. Zayas?
No.
And while you have been assigned to the case, has Ms. Zayas ever requested placement from the court?
No.
Mr. LaRosse, I don't understand that question. I'm sorry. I think I need to, and I don't understand what that question was.
I'll rephrase it again. Ms. DeCamp, while you have been assigned to or engaged in this case, has Ms. Zayas ever set a motion before the court presiding over the dependency matter, asking for the court to order the be returned to the mother's care?
No, she has not.
She's a liar through her teeth. Oh my God, you know what? She belongs in prison. I do not like her at all. I'm putting her in prison. I swear to God I am. Watch.
Can I clarify, Mr. Ross, my answer further?
I beg your pardon, Ms. DeCamp?
Can I clarify my answer a little further?
Sure.
So Ms. Zayas has filed a lot of documents into the court file. My response was specifically whether a motion occurred. Ms. Zayas has filed a lot of documents, but there hasn't been an actual motion hearing on return home in front of the court.
So now I'm more confused about, has she filed asking for her child to be returned to her, and it just hasn't been set as a formal motion? Is that what you mean?
So trying to figure out how to explain. There's not been a formal motion. Ms. Zayas files many documents into the legal case, and often they bring up many of her perspectives on the legality of the case, out of home placement. So often she brings up her concern is out of home, but there wasn't ever a formal motion about that subject.
Thank you very much for clarifying, Ms. DeCamp.
And has she, while you've been involved with the case, has she ever communicated with the department saying, what can I do to return home?
No, she hasn't asked what she could do. She typically refuses the offers that we make and has not asked what she could do, so no.
And when you say refuses the offers that we make, what sort of offers? What do you mean by that?
So our role as CFWS
People were
social
here
workers,
when my child was taken. They need to not be talking about it.
Okay, so what's
The events
your
don't
objection?
have no.
What's
They're
your
both
basic-
lying.
Okay, not that one. Do you have any other objection?
She's a felon. Wait till it's my turn. It's over. She's done.
Okay.
She's done. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna take 5 hours.
Okay. Those objections are overruled.
So in CFWS, our role is to offer services to parents so that we can reunify families. And so we offered Ms. Zaya services prior to the dependency order being
She
entered.
ignored me for 6 weeks
after.
straight. She's a liar. She ignored people for 6 weeks. She's a liar.
Say it.
No, she's a liar. She's committing perjury right now.
When it's your turn, you can ask questions. But right now, we need to get through direct examination so that we can get to you. So, go ahead, Mr. Camp.
So we offered services to Ms. Zayas prior to dependency being established and after, once those services were court ordered. So we made regular offers over the phone, in email, in-person communications with Ms. Zayas, service letters, asking her to engage in those services that the court determined were necessary. So those offers were the ones she was refusing. And I can outline those services if that would be helpful.
Yes, let me just.
She's lying, by the way. They told me at the first court date I didn't have to do anything because of the pandemic. Duh.
At the dependency trial, you mentioned that services were court ordered. Was that part of the dispositional order entered following the dependency trial? And you indicated that the court ordered the mother to participate in specific services. What were those services?
A drug and alcohol evaluation and follow recommendations, random UAs for 90 days, a psychological evaluation with parenting component and follow recommendations. That I believe it was a evidence-based practice upon reunification, but I might have that one. I believe it was a parenting class upon reunification.
So upon reunification, to participate in an evidence-based parenting service?
Yes, I believe so. I don't know if we, without looking at the order, I can't recall whether we specified which evidence-based service. There are a number of them. I feel like it was FPS and home builders in the order. And then later, we did do a FCAP assessment, which recommended triple P, which is another evidence-based parenting class.
I'm just going to note that Ms. Zayas has logged off or gotten kicked off because that's happened with her internet. I'm going to ask my bailiff to reach out to her. Go ahead. And you can keep going.
And the evidence-based parenting service, that was to be an in-home service, is that correct?
Correct, yes, upon reunification.
And for the parenting, the in-home parenting service, did reunification ever
become listening to this?
No.
You just want to strangle.
So was that service ever, was it ever time to refer her for that service?
No, home builders or FPS would be most appropriate at reunification. So those were not offered.
Okay. Regarding the psychological evaluation with parenting component, earlier we discussed using experts for evaluations. For a psychological evaluation with parenting component, are there requirements for what type of qualifications are necessary for the department to contract with an individual to provide that service?
Yes.
And what sorts of qualifications are required?
So the contracted psychological evaluation providers that the department utilizes are licensed psychologists. They have to be licensed in the state that they're practicing. So typically our providers are here in Washington. We also require them to have a certain type of experience and training and knowledge about childhood trauma, how that impacts mental health diagnoses. We have a whole list of qualifications that someone must meet before DCYF will contract with them for psychological evaluations. And because the parenting component is something that we also really value in those assessments, the provider has to be familiar with how those mental health diagnoses or behaviors and their observations impact the client's parenting, which is particularly helpful and relevant to us in our child welfare cases. So the contracts team does have a specific set of criteria that they look for our evaluators.
And did the
Ms.
department...
Hayes is back. I just want to say that she's been back for about a minute and a half. Go ahead.
Okay.
So what are you talking about that has anything to do with me beating up my child?
The objection to relevance is overruled. Go ahead, Mr. LaRosse.
No, I don't get it. She's been talking forever and she has said nothing that says Miriam, not one thing. She's useless.
Did the department did the department obtain a psychological evaluation with parenting component from a contracted provider?
Yes, we did.
And was that from Dr. Steve Tutty?
Yes.
And did Dr. Tutty make any recommendations for services for Ms. Zayas?
Yes, he did.
Do you recall what the services were?
I don't recall all of them. I remember many of them, so I know he recommended that she consult with a neurologist, that she engage with a department-approved therapist who was trained in cognitive behavioral therapy or DBT, and engage in substance.
All right, bullshit. But you can check her out. Make sure you guys check her out. She's got a whole series of her cases of her and she got going on. Like, it just drives you nuts. You've been through these trials, and in there, and you know what they do to you, and they try. It's just absolutely asinine that they can get away with it. It really is.
Where I wish she had reached out to me because I would have prepared her. I would have told her every time that woman spoke, object.
Right.
When the lawyer was questioning her, I would have said, leading the witness, Your Honor, is she a hostile witness? Right? No, she's not. Therefore, you cannot lead a non-hostile witness. He was leading her to the questions.
Right.
The third thing I was sitting here listening to, first of all, human rights again, the right to contract or not contract.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She said no, she didn't want the services. She has that right.
Yep.
And as far as their psychologists, okay, they don't have special requirements. The only thing they have to do is say, yes, CPS, if you say she needs psychological evaluation, we'll tell the court she needs a psychological evaluation. Yep. That's all that shit means.
Thank you for the check. Do you know that in Maine that they have a $3 million stipend in their CPS that they can donate to any medical facilities that they have so if they feel like they want to donate some money to some doctor's office or whatever for the services that they provide, that they have a $3 million checkbook, if you will, that doesn't have to be approved or anything, that they can donate to these doctors' offices. Any other place they'd be called a bribe, but when CPS can do it, it's called we're going to donate to your cause, or we're going to do this, that, or this. But I'm pretty sure that on the list of those, you'll see probably psychologist offices and the people that determine who they send you to get your services provided. I'm sure.
That's bullshit.
Yep. That's right out in the open. That's right out in the open. $3 million open check, open fund for you to go ahead and just use. Any caseworker, any CPS agent, whatever, can donate to a doctor's office if they feel like if it's worthy for their cause. It's freaking disgusting. And that's just it. It's just a big, this is the problem, is that there's so many people involved in this. That's why it's so hard to interweave this. It's so hard to take it down because there's so many parts. And when you do take this thing down, you think Puff Daddy's going to take down a lot of shit? Watch what you do if you take down CPS, which I'm sure one way or the other, we're going to see. I really do hope that this P. Diddy shit comes into CPS. So finally we get some observation by the people saying, wow, this is what CPS is really doing, because we always get so close, like with the celebrity stuff and everything. Like, tell them that it comes from CPS. Tell them that they're trafficking, and it never gets there. It's there with the Epstein stuff. Damn well they were getting some of those kids. Come on, the presidents of the United States are involved in this shit. You think that they don't have their own little ward of CPS workers going out and getting their likings? Come on. A pedophile's living in the White House, for Christ's sakes.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. You're damn right. Pending that the American people aren't stupid. But nonetheless, when is it going to come out that CPS is really the driving storm of this stuff? Like, someone's got to come out and say it. It's got to be able to get close to it so people can wake up to this, because they're not waking up to it because nobody's saying it. You look at the news, there's nothing on the news about CPS. You talk about migrant children missing, talk about P. Diddy having tunnels and children and all this stuff, but not one of them will say. But the UN will say it. The UN will say 84% of the kids that they rescue out of sex trafficking rings have come through Child Protective Services in the United States. 84% the UN will say. But no place in the United States will talk about that. No, ma'am. Nope.
They're worried about their ratings.
No, yeah, their ratings. Yeah, no, they're not worried about their ratings. They're worried about them canceling them for the. How come if you make a wrong inclination about CPS, they not only will fine you $50,000, which is nothing to the networks, but they will take you off the air for a day. You lose your right to a day, and that is millions and millions and millions. But yet you can sit up there and talk shit and lie about the president and everything else about the United States and make all kinds of nonsense. But if you talk about CPS in the wrong way, bang, you're screwed. That's why they don't talk about it. They're so scared. You imagine what it must cost one of these networks if they lose their rights to, a day of, advertising and shit. It must be millions and millions of dollars. So,
that's crazy.
Who the hell made that up?
Yeah, exact. CPS.
Right.
CPS.
It's crazy.
I want everybody to send Darren their email address so they can get this, because I'm telling you, 10 minutes after I downloaded this, and I've had it for quite a few years, I just found it, the whole website was gone.
She originally got it on a stone tablet, so it's hard. It took her a while to put it on the PDF.
And then I had to print it big enough so I can read it.
The Reader's Digest Old Person Edition printout style. Oh man, that's funny. There's a setting on your printer. You can probably fix that. But you probably can't read regular print anymore. You've been printing like that for so long.
Well, if it doesn't come out this big, I can't read it anyway.
You better use that HP Instant Ink stuff, because pretty soon you'll be doing a word a page. Oh man, that's our lady that takes care of the business, and that's the lady that's not a secretary. We don't want to hurt her street cred. So yep, that's it. So I'm really surprised that Gunner didn't do an emergency pop in tonight.
He just pops in and out when he wants.
Yeah, he just he's like our little. Maybe it's like a genie. We got to rub the lamp or something for him to show up. I'm going to take his little. I played on my other show. I played that. I don't know. I call it his monologue, but that was really, really good. His when he went on to talk, I don't even remember exactly what he was talking about. Oh, he's talking about the will of parenting, like why you parent, why you get worried about your kids, And then he went off and he talked about that for a good minute or two. That was really, really good. The AI music picked up on it and played the right music in the background, and his points were dead on. About being afraid of, Yes, our assistant. That's our assistant right there. I'll put that. There you go. There she is. So that's like he's absolutely right. You are worried that you made it sure, because I can't imagine what it'll be like on our deathbeds. That's what your worry is. Are your kids all set? Are your kids going to be fine? Did you teach them enough to make sure that they're all set? And that's, it's kind of a new way of. I've never really looked at parenting like that before. Is in this sense of, are they going to be okay when we're gone? Completely from the earth. I've never thought of it. I don't like dying. Scares the shit out of me. So I don't even like to think about it. Like, I'm so scared to die. It's ridiculous. I mean, you wouldn't think so by my actions and what I do in my life, but that's the last thing I want. But I've never thought of it like that's what your worries are, is making sure that your child's all set for when you're not here anymore. And he's absolutely right. Like, that's what our jobs are. To make sure that they've learned enough so that when we're gone, that they don't suffer and everything. I thought that was a really cool point. That was a really good way of looking at things. It's nice to hear different people's, because that's something I would have never thought of my entire life, I guess, for the rest of my life. If he, like, had he never said that, I've never even heard anybody say that before. So it's nice when you hear people's different views and how to change things. But that's the other thing, is that's what CPS takes away from us as parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't get to make sure that your child is going to be raised in the way that you need to make sure that they were raised, the way that you want to make sure that they're fit. I mean, granted, everyone's always, here's my favorite thing. Oh, well, they'll come home when they're 18. So, you got to, are you fucking serious? That's what I'm so excited. I can't wait till my daughter comes home when she's 18. That's it? No, there's a lot of time in between now and she's 18 that, like, you wonder where they are, what they're doing, what is, are they sad? Are they happy? Are they getting what they need? Is there someone yelling at them? Like, so much races through your head, missing your kids, that, it's almost like insanity. Like, I don't understand how anybody could work a 40-hour-a-week job working for someone else without snapping, without going through, like, I couldn't imagine. Like, thankfully I'm self-employed. So, like, I do whatever, like, I can do when I do it, whatever. But, like, I couldn't imagine being forced down to something and be like, oh man, I just thought of this. I need to go write to this senator. I got to write to this person, or, whether it makes a difference or not. But that's what you're always thinking. Like, what is my move? Like, I need to do something to get them home, and time, the clock just keeps going, choo, choo, choo. Like, for me, it's always Friday. I swear to God, it always seems like it's Friday. Like, all of a sudden it's just Friday again. Like, where the hell is the time gone? Like, it's just, here it is, it's Friday again. So, yeah. So anyway, my point is that it was very nice. His little monologue that he did, it was very good. So if you guys didn't catch that, you should check it out. It's on last Thursday's episode, I believe. So what else you got, Tiff? Anything?
That's it today. I got more stuff to go through. I found another file cabinet. It's a cloth one. Now I need to go through that. It's full. Because I told you I have so much stuff. It's ridiculous.
See, the one good thing is at least you're cleaning out all your files when we're doing this show. Husband must be happy. He's like, look at you go, honey. Been yelling at you for years to clean this shit out. Now you're finally doing it. You guys have a wood stove?
No.
No, you could be burning a lot of stuff. I've been burning a lot of paperwork lately too. It's been getting cold up here. So I don't know if it gets cold in Virginia yet, but
it was 32 last night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's getting bad out again. I hate this cold business. I really do. It's no more depressing than to go outside and your car's frozen over, too blue, but the fire's out, freaking windshield frozen, and car doesn't even start, gas, you didn't put gas in it. It's just bullshit. You can't go back inside because it's not warm in there because you let the fire go out. Oh God. Bugs even close the door behind you. Like, screw you, mister. You can warm it up here. Oh man. But yeah, well, that's good. I got to do a couple of things. Make sure that we get this stuff sent out to everybody. Tiff's gonna look through some other stuff. We got CPS Victims Hunting Justice coming up here in a few minutes, so that'll be fun. And if Tiff says that that's what we got, then I guess that's what we got for the night. So I guess she says that's enough. Isn't it, Darren? Yeah, she's tired. See, I slept all day, so I'm full of piss and vinegar because I broke my ribs. Don't say it's because I'm lazy. It's because I broke my ribs. I'm having a bike accident the other day. I fell off my hog. But, yeah. So, I'm cool. I'll take a little break, a little breather here. Yes, Carrie, I will get in touch with you right before the next show. But as for this one, we're out of here. Thank you guys very much.
They are taking our kids every day. I try them in and no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We've done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, god damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stop it.